two slaveries. And in this concept is important to understand. In slavery to Allah, it is only in slavery to Allah that a human being finds freedom. The Qur'an's concept of freedom is actually only under the shade of Allah's slavery. When a human being becomes Allah's slave, they are no longer slave to trends, to fashion, to money, to other people's standards, to other ethics, other morals. They just have to make Allah happy. They don't have to make people happy. They don't have to fit in with anybody else. They have been freed from all the other pressures in society because they accepted slavery to Allah. We don't understand this core concept of slavery, which is actually deeply associated with freedom. You have kids, we tout in the United States that we have freedom. And Western society, on Westernized societies really, not even Western society. Westernized societies are societies that celebrate the idea that we have complete freedom. I went to high school here, I didn't feel free. I didn't feel free. When you go into high school, there's a group of guys that are into hip-hop and they dress a certain way and listen to a certain kind of music and talk a certain kind of talk. And they have a certain kind of hangout. And if you're going to fit in with them, you better become like them. And if you don't, that's their uniform, literally. And they're not just uniform in dress, which is there, but it's also the uniform in how you're speaking, how you're acting, how you're behaving. There's another group of kids, they have their own clique. And if you're going to be part of them, you have to transform yourself into looking, talking, walking like them. This idea of like social slavery, like you have to become like this group of people if you want to fit with them. You can't just be yourself. This stupid idea that I'm myself. How are you yourself? How is that you being yourself? That you're dying to get this, our girls, dying to get the same backpack as the other girls have. Or wearing the same shirt, or getting the same shoes that every other, why are you, I thought you're free. Why are you a slave to this brand? Until you wear this brand, it's like you're not even a dignified human being. People check your kicks, they look at your t-shirt, they look at it, and then you're worth something. This is like, I went to high school a long time ago. A very long time ago. But and fashion may have changed, trends may have changed, but this cliquish behavior and social slavery hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. That's not freedom. That's not freedom at all. And so when you enslave yourself to Allah, you get free from all this stuff. This is what Musa alayhi salam is trying to tell them. Yes, life here is difficult in the desert. You only have one kind of food, I acknowledge that. But the one thing you get that you could have never had there is that the only one you have to make happy is Allah. That's it. You're not enslaved to anybody else. And so, أَتَسْتَبْدِلُونَ الَّذِي هُوَ أَدْنَى بِالَّذِي هُوَ خَيْرٌ. He then says to them one of the most amazing sarcastic phrases in the Qur'an. Yes, there is sarcasm in the Qur'an. He says, إِهْبِطُوا مِصْرًا. إِهْبِطُوا مِصْرًا. Translated, go down into any countryside. Go down, descend into any countryside. Of course, they're in the mountainous region by Sinai, so they're going to descend if they descend. If they move forward, they're going to descend. So ihbitu works here. But this is an echo. I explained the concept of echoes to you yesterday. Ihbitu is not the first time that the surah is using it. Ihbitu was used when Adam alayhi salam was sent down from Jannah. Twice. Ihbitu. Ba'dukum li ba'din adu. Ihbitu minha jami'an. Come down from it all together. When greed came, Allah mentioned hubut. Adam alayhi salam, whatever happened as a result of greed, as a result of temptation, hubut. These people are, and by the way, that was also about food, wasn't it? That was about food. There's one food you shouldn't go for. Be happy with what you've got. The same exact test with the Israelites. Here's the food you've got. No, we want what we don't have. We want that. You want that? Fine. Ihbitu. Descend again. Ihbitu. The idea of coming lower, by the way, human beings, there's no there's no low they can't reach. That's why the Qur'an even uses the phrase, along the lines of this imagery, ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. Then we reduced him to the lowest of those who go low. You keep on descending and keep on descending. The lesson being taught here through this phrase is that human greed brings people down. It degrades people. Your unsatiated temptations and your unsatiated appetite, if the deen of Allah is not going to put a check on it, then you are only going to end up humiliating yourself. And you'll degrade yourself more and more and more and more and more. Ihbitu. But he didn't just say ihbitu. He said ihbitu misran. Misran has a tanween at the end. You hear the an at the end. This is not ihbitu misra. if you say ihbitu Misra and you don't put the tanween, it actually means Egypt. If you say Misran, it means countryside. As a matter of fact, when it's a